up, my people? What up? What up? What up? What up? Yes, sir. We are back. No, y'all not expecting to see me at 8 o'clock at night. Usually 8 o'clock in the morning, but I'm back. I needed to relax a little bit, man. After being on the live earlier for 5 hours, man. Probably the most I've did in a while. But, great conversations hold up for great content. But I hope everybody's feeling good. Everybody's alright on this Friday. Getting ready to wind down. I wanted to come back, get into some boxing talk. As always, the one thing I like about me is that I like to bring up shit that other fighters, other people are not really thinking about talking about because they figure it brings them nothing to their channel. But for me, it brings me a lot, whether people are listening or not. We're going to talk about the return of Frank the Ghost Martin, who will be returning October 25th on the Fedora and Thurman card. I forgot his opponent. I can't pronounce his name, but I know it'll come up. My man Five, my man G5, if he comes in, he'll be able to pronounce it. But we're gonna get into that. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for my newcomers, my regulars, everyone, welcome back to the No Duck Zone podcast. Let's go. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Shout outs to all my amateurs. I didn't realize this too. Hell, I should have been there, but it is what it is. Shout outs to all my amateurs who are out this week, tonight at Trinity Boxing Club, and tomorrow they'll be in Poughkeepsie High. Shout outs to all my amateurs, man. Shout outs to y'all, and I know, man, I really should be there. I really should, trust me. I'm gonna pop back up. We got all next week. Next week we'll be in John's Gym on the 11th. Y'all can expect to see me there. The 18th will be in Sweatbox. You can expect to see me there, and that's the time go on. So those are the two main shows, you guys. Maybe Victory, who knows? You won't see me at a couple places. A couple places y'all might see me at. Shout out to all the amateurs just in the world that's getting ready to go out and do whatever it is that they doing. I mean, underrated. I see you. What up? What up, everybody? Salute, 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 salute. So, of course, like I said, October 25th is the return of Frank the Ghost Martin. Um, Last time we seen Frank was he lost to Javante Tank Davis. That had to be about what, last year when that happened. I think that was June of last year when that fight happened, if I'm not mistaken. That was the last time we had saw him. Um, and then we heard rumors of him maybe returning at 40. And which I thought it was a good idea for him to return at 40. I wanted him and Mr. Gary, not Mr. Gary, but Antoine Russell. I thought if he came back, that would be great. Hopefully, they can get that matchup somewhere down the line. Actually, his opponent lost to Antoine. I remember that. I think that fight was here in New York, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. But, Frank Martin, um, I like him. I don't know why, when these guys lose, they take so much time off. It's crazy. When they're winning, you see them nonstop. But sometimes it's a mental thing. Um, so, if you're used to winning and then you just lose, it changes a lot. But I always had like Frank Martin, man. Even before fighting Tank, and even when he fought Tank, people were like he didn't deserve that opportunity, but whatever. He got it, and he was able to make him some good money. And it's funny because a lot of people say he had a lot of time off because he got a good payday. D Free, what up? Hold on, Free. Middle of sun, so y'all give me a second. I just send you the link free that you can come through. You ain't busy. So yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, it's been a little minute, about a year and a couple of months probably since we seen him. To see him come back in this comeback fight, and then to see him on the card for the 25th makes the card just that much interesting. Because when we see these cards, we go, okay, the main event is cool. Because there's been a lot of cards we've seen where the undercards have been probably better than the main event. Or we'll say, yo, the undercards are trash, but the main event was the only thing that I'm into seeing. But I think that this card right here for the 25th, I don't know if they're putting it together, but I'm sure it's going to be something where it's going to be worth watching. The main event alone uh, is the one that everybody's really coming to see. I didn't like what I saw with Frank Martin. Not his last fight, but the whole thing with him. How he looked at the weigh-in, and he had that look that Devin Haney had when he was killing himself to make 35. And I understand why guys do it sometimes. Um, it's really about accomplishments, and I understand they're trying to accomplish something. They want to be the best in their division, and that's cool. But at some point, you can't. And we spoke about it before. Play around with your weight too long. Um, and a lot of them guys that was at 35 was already probably walking around probably 150 something pounds, maybe 160, if that, right? But I'll say 150, 154 maybe. So that's already enough. And when your body is not allowing you to make that weight no more, um, it could be it could be it could just be a lot. But to see him
What you mean?
come back at that weight, to see him come back at 40 is it's I'm happy to see him. I'm happy to see him that he's back in the mix of it. They mentioned him again, so we're gonna see what goes from there. What's up, Free?
What's good?
Picasso, what up?
Nothing.
Underrated, I see you.
Hold on 1 second. They don't have any
Smash that like button. Everybody come
plums,
in.
oranges,
Tay Tay, what up?
plums, oranges, strawberries, nuggets,
What's up, y'all? Yeah, I'm back in the building. I ain't supposed to be
nothing.
on at 8 o'clock. Shit, by now I was supposed to be getting off, but
No.
it's my mother-in-law birthday today, so I had to go kick it with my mother-in-law. I'm saying, had to tell moms happy birthday. So 70th birthday today.
So
Um,
they no. He got a fresh box of nuggets, Dino nuggets. He got a fresh box, but they
happy
out of
birthday.
ice cream.
Happy birthday to my mother-in-law. Love you, moms.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I heard you before.
Oh, you ain't say nothing, nigga.
I did say something. I said, "What's up, Free?"
Yeah, I said, "What's up?" And then you started talking to everybody else, so I thought you couldn't hear
No,
me.
I started talking about my mother-in-law. I heard you. I had to give my mother-in-law a shout out.
Mm.
We were down there. I was. That's why the only reason why I'm going live at this time. Cause I was like, oh man, you know what? I gotta go live. I'm not gonna keep going live one time and then be like, wait till tomorrow. I ain't gonna do that. I wanted to get seafood. I see you. BBO, I see you. Um, so of course, it was just announced recently. Frank the Ghost Martin returning at 40 on the Thurman and Fedora card. His opponent, we are familiar with him. Um, what are your thoughts on that, Free? It's been a while since we seen old Frank Martin.
Who we fighting?
The dude that shit that get Gary Antoine fought him, and
Oh,
I think he
Ransom
stopped the fight.
Bartholomew. Francis
Yeah,
Bartholomew.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I would say that Frank should win, but Francis has been active, and Frank Martin hasn't fought since Tank Davis, which was what last year.
yeah.
Yeah, so he hasn't fought since Tank Davis, and Francis been active. So I don't know how Frank Martin is going to look, especially in fighting at 140.
Yeah,
I don't know if he recovered from the knockout loss that he took from Tank Davis.
which I don't know why it took so. I mean, I understand people have time, they need time off, but why it took so much of that time? Because it seemed like these guys take more time off
You
when
know
they lose than
what?
when they win.
You know why it took so much time off? That man had money and he was like, man, I ain't gotta go back to work right
No, but
now.
I mentioned that. I mentioned that certain fighters you get that good pay and you like, I ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? But
they in a rush. They not in a rush to put their body back through that workout. When you got money to pay your bills for a few months or a few years, you like, man, I ain't gotta go right back to work. I got enough money to sit here and chill for a while.
yeah, well, we're seeing that a lot, and that's what I had just said a little while ago that got that tank money and that money was good. So you like, I ain't gotta rush to come back. Why now and why 40?
Well, 40 because he said he had a hard time making the weight when he fought Tank Davis. He said he had a hard time making the weight, so that's why he's moving up to 40. Now I don't know. I mean, you might as well have just waited till the beginning of the year, but I don't know. I don't know if he was trying to get a fight and he wasn't able to get a fight, or what was going on. I don't know why he's just now coming back.
Yeah, I said that when I didn't like the way he looked anyway at the weigh-in with Tank. I didn't like the way he looked. I said, yo, he looked like a damn, like you can see it in his face. He didn't look like himself. And it kind of worried me. And he was handling himself a little well in the Tank fight, and then it was just that round where, boop, it happened. I'm like, damn, the guy he tired himself out, man. You can see it in it that he was starting to slow down a little bit. Um, what are we expecting? Not just on October 25th, because we don't know what'll happen. What are we expecting? Because 140 seems to be getting more interesting and interesting now. What did we expect at 140?
I already told you at the beginning of the year, I don't expect nothing.
I'm saying, what did we not? What did we expect to who fight who? Like far as
I,
all
I,
right,
I mean, I really didn't know who he would come back in the ring with because I knew it was going to be somebody that wasn't as dangerous coming off a knockout loss. You don't want to put him right back in there with another knockout artist or another big puncher. You wanna kind of ease him back in. I just didn't know who. I thought maybe somebody like Sergio Martin, um, maybe Aaron Barbosa, somebody like that. So maybe one of those guys, because he is a notable name. It's not like he's a nobody. He's a notable name. So I thought he would come back with somebody with a little more a little more notoriety. Rance Bartholomew, he's not a pushover neither. He's up there in age. I think Rance Bartholomew is like right around 40. He's up there in age.
yeah. Um, I think like I said, it's good because 40's looking 40's looking pretty entertaining, and then we're trying to sit back eventually and see what Mr. Keyshawn Davis has going on because maybe hopefully possibly if he doesn't decide to go back and try to get 35, he might go up to 40, which we already know that before we even spoke about Abdullah Mason, we was always talking about Keyshawn and Frank Martin getting it on. I mean, at one time we thought they were going to get it on, but for whatever reason, it didn't. It didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, right now at this time, I mean, you got Keyshawn Davis, uh, pretty much is on a suspension, even though he wasn't suspended by the Boxing Association. Top Rank suspended him for the most part. That's why he hasn't been back in action. And then you got Frank Martin coming off a long layoff. Um, Maybe we'll see these two guys mix it up at 40. I thought that we was going to see it at 35, but it seemed like Keyshawn wanted to get on a fast track to get to the belt instead of possibly derailing his goal by fighting Frank Martin and possibly losing that fight.
Yeah. Um, and I was super hype about that fight. I was like, "Oh, Frank Martin, Keyshawn." I said this would be two young lions. Yeah, this would be great. And, when they had that running, we thought at some point, even though they was
Mm.
on different sides of the streets, I'm like, it don't matter.
I
Make it
mean, that would
happen.
have been a real test for Keyshawn at that time, and it would have been a real test for Frank Martin because neither one of them been in a fight at that time with anybody of that magnitude, as far as their boxing style and their hand speed and footwork and power that both of them possess. Neither one of them been in the ring with anybody like that. Um, but Frank Martin ended up getting the Tank Davis fight, and so we saw the results of that. And Keyshawn ended up fighting Barincic, and I mean
Yeah.
not Barincic, Danny. I mean Denny. Is his name Barincic? His last name might be Barincic, but he ended up fighting Denny and getting the title. So. But I thought that would be a real test for both of them because neither one of them really been pushed um, to that point. I mean, even Keyshawn still to this day, he really hasn't been tested. We know what happened with Frank Martin with the Tank Davis fight, but
Yeah.
Keyshawn still hasn't been tested yet. So we still got to see how much do Keyshawn really have in his tool bag.
Yeah. What makes a great point, but 40's looking so interesting right now. Like I said, and now with Shakur and Tio possibly trying to get it going, um, things look things look up in 140. Um, and he's coming. He's coming back to get this. He's coming back to take this fight. And rather people give him credit or not, it is what it is. Hopefully, we see him in October, then we can come back and see him in the new year again, and whoever that'll be against. Because since he's been gone, a lot of things have changed in boxing. A lot of
Yeah,
people have changed in the division. It's not the same people whom, when he left, right, or before he left, some of the same people are not in that division. Some people have moved up and moved on, and a lot has changed.
yeah. I mean,
But
you have some people that moved on. You had some belts that switch hands a couple times. Um, so I mean, the landscape is a little bit different than what he expected was going to be when he moved up. We might have Shakur at that weight class now. We might end up still seeing a Frank Martin and Shakur at some point.
yeah,
That fight was close to being made. So I mean, there's a lot of good fights for Frank Martin. We just got to see where his head is at and how dedicated is he to the sport. Being though he came off this long layoff, this is the longest of a layoff that he's coming off of that I can think of. I can't think of any other long layoff he had.
how does these layoffs affect you? Because sometimes you can look pretty impressive when you're training, and you might look like you didn't lost a step. But then when it's time to actually get in there, you look a little where you look a little rusty, and then it takes maybe 4 or 5 rounds for you to warm up. how much does taking a layoff have an effect on that?
It all depends on the individual. I mean, we saw with Gary Russell, he didn't look like he missed a beat. And then you saw with a guy like Keith Thurman, who had a hard time with Mario Barrio because I mean, let's be honest, the Keith Thurman that we once know would have got Mario Barrio out of there. Um, so I mean, then look at what Jamal looked like when he came back with Cornflake. He stopped Cornflake, so he made easier. So it all depends on the individual, and it depends on the opponent that you're in the ring with, because you can be a little rusty, but if your opponent is not that good, you might not show it as much, or you could be in there with somebody that's very tough and it shows all of the ring rust that you have. So it all depends on your opponent, and it depends on the individual. Was Frank Martin still in the gym and working out and staying in shape, or was he just back vacation until he decided to come back, or until he got a fight? So it all depends.
Yeah. Because I wonder when guys do that and they sit for a year, sometimes, 6 months is not really too bad, but a year, 2 years, and then it's like you come back. This is why also too, we have an understanding that every fight that you see is not going to be a big fight. Because a lot of times these guys got to stay active, or when they coming back into the division, I mean, coming back into boxing, they might not get a good fight. So now you like, how is this his comeback fight? Or why did he take this fight? And it's like, look, this guy got to stay active. What do y'all want him to do? What do y'all want him to do?
Yeah.
So, a lot of times I get it why they won't get the big fights, or the big fights don't happen right then and there. You know what I mean? But it's all about staying active. So I realize that when people say they want to see the best fights, I'm like, yeah, but sometimes you have to build up. The best fights are just not going to happen just like that because you want to see them. It don't. I wish it would work like that, but it don't work like that. You know what I mean? So that's the part of boxing that I'm finally starting to understand. That's why it's a lot of things you don't see me get frustrated about that everybody has a heart attack over. And I'm like, bro, if you understood, you wouldn't have to lose your mind over it. If you understand how this shit works, no matter how much of
Mhm.
a fan you think you are, it don't work like that. So, you know, but I understand. I understand and I get it. It is what it is. But I'm glad to see Frank back. But but at 40, what fight do you think will be great for Frank? Besides this one, I mean, we don't know what he'll do because it's hard to say what he'll do after this. But what would be a fight at 40 that you think will catch your eyes? Besides your family, because you like to cheat.
You said that with Tess Frank Martin.
Yeah, don't say Antoine because you're a cheater.
No, I'm not gonna say Antoine. I don't think that's a good fight for him to get in coming right back. Um, I think Bartholomew Rance is a good test for him because, like I said, even though Bartholomew is up there in age, he's gonna come to fight. He's not gonna lay down for Frank Martin. He's
Oh
gonna push
no.
Frank Martin. He's gonna push Frank Martin as much as he can. So I think this is a good test to see where Frank Martin is at, especially coming back from the long layoff and moving up to a bigger weight class. So I think this is a good test for Frank Martin. Um, After this, depending on how he looked, then we could start to talk about what's next for Frank Martin. But we got to see how he look in this fight because, like I said, once again, Rancis is not going to lay down for him. Rancis is going to come out there and try to win this fight.
Yeah, and before you guys go out there and judge so quick to be like Frank should win, don't do that because y'all more familiar with Frank or because of the last fight you seen this guy in. Because these fighters, um, a lot of times they only have maybe one or two more opportunities to prove themselves, and
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of them are in predicaments where they might not never get another opportunity. So we can't sleep on this guy. You know what I mean? We gotta just keep our eyes open, man. 'Cause, you know, we want this. We want to see the best fights. And you know, like y'all always say, y'all constantly say we want to see that, and this could be one of them, man. You know, this might be better than what people think. It could be
Well,
good. But when I look at 40, man, I'm telling you, free. I go, I'm super excited when I sit and look at it. I go, yo, 40 is really interesting. It's really
mhm.
interesting. And you know, you look at Africa, you look at tears, you look at so many people at 40, and you like, damn, in the next 2 years, if these guys, some of these guys are probably get ready to hit 47 because some of them, I can see they struggling to make 40. Some of them, I can look them in the eye and tell. But if it's good between next year and the year after, 26 and 27, 40 is gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, it's gonna be something, man. But yeah, I'm just glad to see Frank back. I'm glad to see him back in the mix of things because you know one of my concerns when I didn't see him. I'm like, yo, what's up with Frank Martin, man? Damn, we ain't seen old boy in a minute. And I think the last time we did see him, he got into an altercation outside somewhere. And I'm like, oh, come on, Frank, we not doing that now. We're not getting into altercations outside now. Come on, baby. We need you fighting in the ring, not outside the ring. You put your hands on somebody, you know for sure your ass is in prison. So we don't need that out there. And you know, and then before you know it, we looked up. He's on the card. Um, the scary thing about doing what they do, and Demetrius on Boo Boo was just talking about this. How the worst thing about boxing is having to sit and wait for a fight, to wait for a phone call. Because if nobody is challenging you and nobody wants to fight you, it makes it that difficult. So now you're playing the waiting game. And you know, for a lot of people who think they know boxing don't understand either, right? That how all these fighters are out here and you telling me he can't get nobody to fight him. And I'm like, well, sometimes it's like that. And you got to play the waiting game. So when you finally do get that phone call, it might not be an elite fighter. It might be a fight that people be like, man, hell no, he better not take that shit. I'm not paying for that. I'm not watching it. But he got to do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to do what he got to do to stay active. Do you think that people understand that, or people just don't give a damn? They just want to see who they want to see in the ring.
You said that again?
I said, Boo Boo has said. I was looking at this interview that he was in, and he said the worst thing about the sport of boxing is when you have to sit there and you know wait to get the phone call for a fight because he says sometimes if people don't want to fight you. He said it makes it more difficult and it's frustrating. So he says sometimes you got to take what you can get. You know, he's like a lot of people don't want tune-up fights, but if a tune-up fight is what you have to take to get back in there, then you have to take that. I don't think a lot of people that call themselves boxing fans fully understand that. They just want to see who they want to see you in the ring with. I don't think they really understand about that part of the business, or they really just don't care.
No, I mean the thing is, it takes two people to fight. I mean, a
Yeah,
person can't fight himself. So if it doesn't matter how many times a person call another person out or whatever have you, the other person has to be willing to fight him. If he's not willing to fight him, it does not matter what you do. You can be the mandatory
yeah,
person to drop the belt if he don't really want to fight, or he can move to the next weight class. So it really doesn't matter what a person do. You have to have somebody else that wants to get in the ring with you.
yeah. And people don't. And this once again, we always talk about the part of the business that people don't understand that that's not how this work or that works. It takes two. You know what I mean? And you can't force anybody to get in there with you.
No,
You understand what I'm saying? That person got to want it. And I felt Boo Boo when he was like, I've asked everybody. I've asked everybody possible. Like he mentioned Caleb Plant. He mentioned Jaime Munguia. He said, he mentioned so many people. Like, and if everybody's saying no to you, what do you do, Free? It's frustrating because even though you doing stuff outside of boxing, that because you got to make you some kind of money, but then you just like, yo, I got to get back in the ring, and nobody wants to fight.
I mean, another thing too, he gotta remember too. He kind of did it to himself, um, because he put a bad rap on his own name by walking away from the Jamel Charlo fight, literally the week of the fight. When
Yeah,
people see that, they like, man, am I gonna waste my time dealing with this dude and then he don't like the money at the last minute and decide to walk away and then I'm left without a fight after I just spent all my money training and getting sparring partners and things like that. So a lot of times that put a bad taste in people's mouths because these guys they all know each other. So
yeah,
it's like me and you. We got a big interview to do or whatever, and I say, hey, we're gonna do an interview with Oscar De La Hoya, this and that, and is on this day. I'm gonna send you the plane ticket, and then you clear your schedule, get ready to go for the interview, and then all of a sudden the day before the interview, I say, you know what? No, we're not gonna do it. You know, like what? Man, I just cleared my whole schedule. I had an interview with somebody else, but I cleared my schedule because he said, no,
yeah,
no, I'm not gonna do the interview. I'm gonna do the interview with somebody else. I'm not gonna do it with you.
yeah. Um, I think people tend to forget that they did something and they kind of brush it off and oh well I did that for this reason or that ain't got nothing to do with today, but then sometimes you just miss that opportunity. Um, that's why it's important for us to, well, not saying us, but it's important for everybody, all these fighters, to play their part. Fight who you supposed to fight when you supposed to fight them, and not make excuses for it. Injuries is something different because that's something you can avoid, especially if you've been boxing all your life. Sometimes injuries can, it just happens. But if it's not nothing with injuries, then we shouldn't have any problem making something happen. But like you said, it takes two to tangle. It's a lot. Um, and the making weight. I mean, it's so much that comes with this boxing that's why I applaud them because I can't do it. I can't do it. I wouldn't want to because they sacrifice so much in what they do. But I believe Frank Martin should do well when he comes back. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing that whole card. That whole card is a good card. Well, I don't know about everybody that's on there. I only know about that fighting. I don't even know who else is on there. I have to literally look and see who else is on that card. But other than that, man, yeah, it should be a good one to see what he. I'm curious. I'm just curious to see what he'll look like at 40. Because when guys move up to a new weight class, and rather if they've been out or if they've been active, everybody's sitting back watching them. So everybody's gonna be sitting back like, okay, let's see what he looks like. We saw what he looked like at 35. He only lost to Tank. Who better to lose to? Let's sit back and let's see if we're gonna have a problem. Because that's just what it is. Because everybody wants to be the man at 40. You got Africa right now. You can't tell him shit. He's looking at it like, yo, I run 40, or you got Tio like I'm the guy at 40. You know what I'm saying? And everybody thinks they the man at 40. So this is what makes it more interesting. You know what I wish they can do? I wish they can go back to doing what they did with Trinidad and Bernard and them, and have a tournament, man. I would love to see that. But I know that's not gonna. I can't say it won't happen, but I don't know. We got Turkey Ali Sheik. We got a lot of Dana White. We got a lot of different shit that they're doing things different. So we probably wouldn't see it. But a lot of these fights that we want to see is definitely going to take about a year and a half to see some of these. But it should be lining us up for something great for the new year. Because everybody was like, yeah, the fights this year was okay. But then I'm like, well, okay, what did you want to see? What did you want to see that you didn't see? And you know that always there's always that one dumb fight that comes up for you, and I go, I'm tired of hearing about that shit. It's not happening. Shut up and get over it. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's always, yo, we want to see Shakur, and I'm like, no, don't nobody want to hear that. It's over. Get over it. But what other for the new year though? For y'all like that, when I can't say the new year, I would like to say the end of this year, but end of this year is over, and they haven't said anything about any more fights happening. But at 40 though, since we're on 40, we I know we said Shakur and Tiafimo. We don't know if it happened, so it's still up in the air. They say supposedly January. I'll believe it when they talk more about it. But who else at 40 that you'd like to see getting on? Now you got your fam is going on November 14th. But who else at 40 who you like to see? And when you think we're going to get Africa versus Matias? You think that'll happen? Did you hear me? No, you off. Yeah, I can't hear you.
I got my phone muted. You said after who?
I said, you think that by any chance the next year we can get Africa and Matias? That's the showdown I want
Matias
to see.
and Antoine? That's probably who we're going to end up getting when it's come to unifying the belts. It's probably going to be Antoine and Matias because it doesn't seem like we're going to get T.O. and Matias or T.O. and Antoine. Doesn't seem like we're going to get Richardson Hitchens with any of them either. So that's probably who we end up getting.
You said who now?
I said we don't we ain't. It doesn't seem like we getting Richardson Hitchens with any of them. So it's probably going to be those two going to unify the belt.
Yeah. Um, I don't like to call nobody ducks, but I think there's some guys that just don't want no smoke with some guys. You know how some guys be like, I'll fight anybody, anytime, but it sound good, and then when it's time to sign on the dotted line, or when it's time to bring it up, they'll make up excuse of what has that guy done, or I have no interest for what. That fight would be too easy for me. And I'm like, well, if it's too easy for you, let's see it. Nah, because I'm not going to get nothing out of it. And I'm like, man, fight them. So I be
Hmm.
feeling like people be trying to avoid people on the low. They got different ways of avoiding people. It's crazy how people how they'll do that. And I go, you know, hold on, give me 1 second. Let me turn this around. 'Cause I'm not even facing you. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know. A lot of people
here
when
we
they
go.
feel
All
that
right.
they gotta really work for that money, they don't want to do
No, no. 'Cause everybody wants to be the man, but they don't want to take the steps into proving that they're great. But they'll try to convince you all day that they're great.
it. Yeah.
And I'm like, if you great, then go do this. I ain't got to do all that. And I'm like, all right, well, like you said all the time, I'm at a point where I'm not really expecting nothing from these dudes. I leave them be. You know, if I want to support, I'll support them. Water. Yeah, please. Yeah, so that'll be it. As far as that, but everything's looking good for the sport of boxing later this year, man. We got 2 months. We got 2 months left of it, man. Can you believe that? 2 months went by. I mean, 2 months.
Hmm.
Even though
Yep.
we're not in the month. we're not in the month of December, right? But what was one of the fights that caught you? I know we always wait to the end of the year to do it, but since we are at that point, what fight caught your eye this year that you would look at it and was like, you know what, man, I could watch this shit over and over and over and never get tired of watching it.
Um, there's a couple of fights. Um, you got the Antoine versus El Rayo because that
Yeah,
was the first time that a lot of people saw Antoine actually box. You got the Bud versus Canelo. You got um I'm trying to think of who else that was a good fight that I feel like I can watch over and over again.
yeah.
Those are probably the top two that comes to my mind right now. Um, I mean you got the May 2nd, Rolly versus Ryan.
Uh, yeah. I was just happy to see him lose.
It wasn't even the fact that to see him lose; it was the fact that the way he lost. Because I didn't expect that. Most people would have said if you had the fight going to the scorecards, who you figured would win. Most people thought it was going to be Ryan.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Um, I was still surprised though. I was still shocked, and I'm looking like, yo, he's boxing the hell out of Rolly. I mean, he's boxing the hell out of shit of Ryan, and I'm looking at this like, are we really seeing Rolly do this?
Yeah, I definitely was surprised. 'Cause that's what I said. I said if Rolly won this fight, it was going to be by knockout. I never imagined Rolly would outbox Ryan.
But you remember, I said one of these fights. If you remember, I said one of these fights is going to be an upset. I just don't know which one.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it would be the Aaron Barbosa versus Theo. Um, Nobody really picked Jose Ramirez over Devin. They said Jose Ramirez could surprise Devin with his style of fighting, but nobody really picked. I don't recall anybody picking Jose Ramirez over Devin. I
Yeah,
think a
that
lot
Honor
of
Barbosa.
people
I don't know.
thought
That was that was
a lot of
boring to
people
me.
thought that Honor Barbosa could possibly upset Theo.
Yeah, that one was boring to me.
Yeah, it was boring because Tio was showing off. It was trying to show off, but he wasn't really doing anything. I'm like,
Yeah,
just go out there and knock him out. You ain't got to do all this showboating. Just go knock him
that's
out.
why I said that. That's why I said that Times Square shit was a circus. For the first time for them, that was the best y'all can do. That was trash.
Yeah, that's what I said. A lot of times when you see these popular names on these cards, everybody think, oh, this is gonna be a good fight, and those be the fights that let you down and be the ones that you didn't even pay attention to, which end up being the most exciting fight. These low level opponents or no name opponents end up being the most exciting fights.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there like, okay, all these guys, we know them. We know these guys, all of them. We are familiar with all of them. So
Hmm.
this one is going to be real better than anything. We in the middle of Times Square, oh, we gonna make it popping, and then we sitting there like, what the hell is this? Like that's not a
Yeah.
fight I actually go back and watch today. Like that whole card, I don't really bother to go back and watch it. It didn't really interest me.
I mean, if you want to call it a card, it was only three fights. Hey, I'm being honest. If you really want to call it a card, there was only three fights on it.
Yeah.
They didn't have no prelim or anything. It was just those three fights.
Um, they had these amateurs.
Oh no,
Um,
they did. They had the firefighter and the police officer and things like that.
which
They
to
did
me
have.
that was cool. That was cool, but I was like, okay. After that, I was like, okay, now what?
Yeah, they did. They did have a couple. I just got what threw me off that whole card. The thing that threw me off was watching Deadpool and Spider Man and Snoop Dogg. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
Where is the daggone ring girl? Why am I looking at dudes in tights?
yeah. Like, ain't nobody wanted to look at that. That's why I was like, that whole show to me, that was a whole shit show. Now, when you want to talk about shit shows for 2025, that was a shit show.
Yeah, that was the biggest letdown of the year. I could truly say that that card was the biggest letdown of the year because you would have thought that we would have got some decent fights out of that card, but that was the biggest letdown of the year.
Man,
That
I could have
that
did an
entire
amateur.
card.
Listen, I could have did an amateur fight in the middle of Times Square and did better than that.
Yeah,
That
that
was just
entire
like,
card was the biggest letdown.
and then the chaos that was caused down there because you had all these people inside, like the Shakurs and Carissa. That was cool and all, but I'm like, y'all ain't had none of these amateur fighters from the city in that building. How you made them watch from outside? What kind of goofy shit is that?
I think I think the best part of that entire card was watching the actual cars ride down the street. They had some nice dope cars ride down the street that was carrying the fighters. I think that was the best part of the whole
That was the
card.
best part. That was the best part. Other than that, it was trash. And
Uh,
I try not to
Oh,
down what Turkey Al Sheikh do. What? Oh, what are you talking about? Yeah,
you said
I don't try
something?
to down what he do because I can't match what he do. But it is what it is, man. We got to do better with these cards. Who you laughing at, man?
Yeah, he got in trouble. He said up his dad. His mama said, "Sit your ass down before I whoop your little yellow ass."
Big Tex, I see you. What up? Yeah, that was
Your mother gonna
definitely
knock the cool out your walk.
that was definitely a shit show. Yeah, I thought it was colder than that.
Oh boy. Yeah, we ain't got nothing to look forward to tomorrow. I just thought about it. I mean,
No, there's a fight coming on the zone tomorrow. I don't know. I forgot who it is.
once again,
It's
we
one of
ain't
these
got nothing
fights
to
that
look
comes
forward to. It's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, I just watched the other day the Marcus Brown, but I only got to see round one.
It only went six.
Yeah, I was pissed because I was like, damn it.
I
But
picked
then
the right guy. I just picked the wrong outcome. I picked the right guy to win the fight. It was just the wrong outcome. I thought the Glutton was going to win by a unanimous decision. I didn't know he was going to stop Marcus Brown in the sixth round.
yeah, but like you said, it ain't got nothing. That's why guys don't be having nothing to talk about because they be like, yo, it ain't nothing to talk about, so we gonna keep talking about the same shit. No, I'm not. That's why I sat and thought about the Frank Martin. I said, okay, that's not gonna be something everybody's gonna be interested in, but it is some type of content. You know what I mean? Because other than that, I'm not gonna keep talking about the same shit. Um, that's why I'm just sitting and waiting. That's why I'm like, all right, boxing's kind of quiet, and I have to think of things
Yeah, it's
to
real
speak
quiet. It's
about.
real quiet this weekend. Only thing
Jeff
you
Spark,
really got
Jeff
to look
Spark, I see
forward
you.
to is football.
You
That's
said
the only
what?
thing I got to look forward. I said the only thing I got to look forward to is football.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna talk about my Yankees, but I need them to go a little further, and I'm gonna get on them.
I ain't got nothing else to look forward to.
No, ain't nothing else going on. It's quiet. And my thing is this: I'm not gonna be looking for stuff to talk about. That's the one thing I hate. I don't want to look for stuff to talk about
Oh, I ain't never got nothing to look for. I mean, look to talk about. I always got something to talk about.
because I'm not gonna wait until somebody drop a story so I could go run and talk about it. To me, that's whack. It's everybody. You know how it is. Everybody want to report the story. They want to be the first ones to report it, not knowing if the story's true or not.
Yeah.
So me, I won't do. But I'm like you. I'm about to get on some get on my Yankees. Um, start finding something else because right now it's quiet. It's quiet. It ain't nothing else going on now. If they come back with this To the Shakur thing, then we might have something. We might have it.
I'm like,
You said you what?
I'm not gonna hold my breath. I like my life.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So unless
Well,
they
at
come
least
back and talk about
have to
that,
wait on that fight.
yo, you know the chaos that's going to erupt in these chats. If they make that shit official, you know it's going to be chaos in these chats. Not with me, because I'm not doing all that. I'm not.
Um,
I'm not on it like that. I'm not on it like that. And it wouldn't even matter to me who will win, to be honest with you.
I want to see how BBO gonna react if they make this fight official.
Oh, you know BBO gonna go bonkers. You first of all, he said he was coming here the 18th of next month, but shit, they make that fight in January. He coming right back up here.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about is he going to be back on the TO train or is he going to stay neutral?
I don't think so, because you know he always calling Shakur. You know what he's always calling him. So you
Hmm.
know where this is going. You know where this is going, Free.
Mm. I don't even understand how TO even have fans.
Well, he has it. Ryan has it. There's a couple of fighters that I look at like, but they got a fan base. It's
Well,
crazy.
I could understand Ryan. At least Ryan never he didn't duck. Now he prolonged fights, but he didn't duck. He fought Tank Davis. He fought Devin Haney. He didn't duck any. This
Yeah.
man, he was just straight out here ducking like a mug.
Well, let me tell you something. Because I'm at a point where I told you this other guy, I'm done with him. I don't even care what happens next month, right? But if To turns this down or he messes this up, if he messes this up, I don't know what to tell him.
Take his back to Florida.
And that's not just that don't just go for him. That go for a lot of these fighters that if y'all constantly saying no to something or 1 minute you saying yes, next minute you saying no, just know that this boxing shit ain't forever.
No, it's not.
That would be great for the new year to see both of them because I think the date, for what I heard, the date it's supposed to be January 10th. And I'm like, I thought about it. I said January 10th. I said, oh shit, I said that's the day after my birthday. That's crazy. I'm like, if they made that's a birthday gift for me. You making that in New York, rather if it's at the Barclays Center at the Garden, I take it. I take it.
If
Now
Turkey make it, that's only gonna be on Riyadh season.
yeah, yeah, but they already said it'll be in New York. Um, but do you think because when you talk about ticket sales with both of them, right? Who do you think does better in that?
As far as the crowd,
Yeah,
Oh, it's gonna be Shakur without a doubt.
Now, do you think they could take that fight and put it in a big house and it'll do numbers?
I don't know if it's gonna be that big of a fight. I mean, they probably put it in Blockade. I don't know if they're gonna put it in no Madison Square.
Yeah, Barclays will probably take it. Yeah, Barclays will probably take it. But what platform we talk about them fighting on though?
That's the question. And most likely, it's going to be on the zone. It's going to be Turkey because um, unless Top Rank announced his deal, I mean announced their deal, because like I told all the fellas, I was like, I believe Bob Arm has a deal in place. They just not gonna they're not gonna unleash anything until the beginning of the year. They're gonna announce who they're working with, and they're gonna start having fights at the beginning of the year. I truly believe that he has a deal already in place, and I'm thinking it's Paramount because remember Paramount did away with Showtime because they said they wasn't dealing with boxing anymore. Now all of a sudden they're back dealing with boxing. They said they got 12 slots for boxing. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe Top Rank got that deal because we know Matchroom is with the zone. We know Golden Boy is with the zone. We know PBC is with Amazon. Who else is going to fill in that slot for Paramount? Unless they're talking about doing TKO.
Yo, how's this TKO thing supposed to work? I mean, what are they doing with
Trash,
it?
trash.
Oh damn.
It, it, they,
Oh
the
damn,
way they
crazy.
got it set up is guys are going to be it's going to be similar to the UFC. There's going to be a cap on how much the guys can make, which is 750,000 is the highest that you're going to be able to make,
What the
and
hell?
that's when you become the champion. When you become the champion, the most you're going to make is 750,000. That's why he's not getting any of the guys that's in the sport of boxing, as far as the big names. He's not going for none of those guys because he knows they're not gonna sign that contract where they only can get 750,000. A lot of these guys are making more than that now. The only one that's making around that amount of money is Tio. Everybody else that we know is making more money than that.
Ain't that crazy though?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
no,
that's
I, I,
crazy
I,
how T.O.
I
been a
want to see
professional for a
how
while.
it does the first year because I think they're gonna have a hard time trying to get fighters over there when they lay out that that platform. I mean that yeah the
Well,
pay scale
I'm
when
gonna
they
be
lay out
honest
that
with
pay
you.
scale.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and we don't need Dana White, but whatever.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna be honest with you. We really don't need Dana White.
Well, I mean we don't need Dana White. Turkey needs Dana White.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because
Turkey
let's
needs
be
Dana
real,
White
Kareem.
because Turkey don't know how to run a combat sport. He don't. He never. This is something new to him. He never did this. So he needs Dana White to be able to negotiate the deals and recruit fighters. He don't have that. I mean, he can go out there, but the way he get fighters is by giving them money. He gives them their
Yeah,
biggest purse. That's how he get the fighters. So people signed up with Turkey because they knew that they were going to get a huge bag by going over there and sign up with Turkey. If you tell them that they on a pay scale, they're like, okay, what do I need to sign with Turkey for? I don't need to
yeah,
sign with him.
yeah, yeah. We don't need. We don't want 2026 to just be a whole year of a shit. We don't because
That's what it look like it's going to be. That's exactly what it look like it's going to be.
a shit show. You know what I mean? Where none of the shit that we gonna see is gonna make sense, and then you're gonna have more and more of these idiots trying to argue and make sense out of something that don't make sense. That's what we had. I mean, we doing that now, but that's what it's going to be headed towards in 2026. So I'm already preparing myself to sit there and say, until I hear something that interests me, there's probably not going to be much boxing talk coming from me. Maybe throwback, maybe when I do the amateurs, but I'm already on that type of timing now that if it's something that doesn't interest me, I'm falling back from it. I'm not going to sit and be a part of the circus. I'm just not doing it. Like I'm not. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Because I hear a lot of guys be like, "Yo, man, I don't even be want to talk about this shit no more." I be just on it. But this is the reason why, like you said, you do football. We got other things we do. We're not just about boxing. You know what I'm saying? There's other ways we push our content. If we just depended on boxing and nothing else, we probably would be in trouble. We would be in trouble. So being that that's not the only thing we depend on, that's what makes us great content creators. When you just depend on one thing to be successful, and that's just boxing, I mean that's cool. But even when you look at somebody like Champside, you look at somebody like Champside. Champside just he doesn't just do boxing all day. Champside does basketball. He can do football. Champside can do a lot of different things. That's what makes him great because he's not just boxing. You know what I mean? So it's great when you can find other things to do. Like when you do your football, I get to learn stuff. 'Cause I'm not a football head. I know a little bit about it, but I get to learn listening to you and Thomas and everybody when y'all up there talking football. I get to see who like when I ask you who's hot in the NFL right now, I don't know who's hot. I can't even tell you. Oh, free, you froze up. All right, well he'll get it together and come back. But what up, y'all? Smash that like button. Welcome everybody to the No Duck Zone podcast. We just sitting here, you know, chopping it up about the return of Frank the Ghost Martin, who's returning October 25th. And then we got off to a lot of other stuff. Wasn't trying to really go hard today. That's why y'all don't hear me really going hard because it's winding down right now. The morning I'll be back with the morning chop ups, 8 a.m. We're gonna get this going, man. So I just make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, man. Okay, he'll be back. I'll wait for him to come back because this thing is messing up. Yeah, yeah, because all this with the TKO, yeah, I mean, y'all don't ever hear me speak about any of that. Um, I don't too much try to worry about it. At some point, I'll probably speak about it. I mean, I'm speaking about it now, but I'll probably be getting other brothers up here to speak about it. But then again, there's really nothing to speak about um, because, like I told you, whatever they decide to do in boxing is what they're gonna decide to do, whether we like it or not. It is what it is. When you got money like these guys got, when you got money like a Vince McMahon, when you got money like Dana White and Turkey Al Sheik and Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, a lot of these people that's in position, what they call the powers that be. Money talks. So there's going to be a lot of things in the new year, probably in the next 2 years, that we're going to see in boxing that we're not going to like. We're not going to like it. We're not going to probably accept it, but we don't have to accept it because it's here. Now, the best thing we can do is just fall back and say, I'm not supporting this. Um, I don't condone that. Pretty much what I started doing. There's a lot of things I fell back from that I won't condone. Um, but it don't stop me from being a fan of boxing, though, y'all. I'm gonna be real with you. no matter how crazy boxing looks, doesn't stop me. It doesn't really, So it doesn't matter what happens in the next year or two. I'm gonna decide anyway what I want to watch and what I don't want to watch. So it's not gonna really, it's not gonna matter. My man D Free, I don't think he's coming back. I'm going to be getting off here, y'all. I can go back and look at the replay of this. It wasn't nothing major. Out in 8, kind of tired right now, so I'm gonna sit, fall back, and probably watch some boxing myself. Tomorrow morning we'll be back with the morning chop ups on a Saturday. Make sure y'all come through and check it out. Enjoy the rest of y'all Friday. Be safe and be aware of your surroundings and protect your space and your peace. Love y'all. Y'all know what it is. It's the No Duck Zone podcast. Let's go.